What's up, everybody? We are back. We have a little kind of impromptu video. We just kind of decided to do this now. Had it planned, but we didn't really plan much. I don't think we really wanted to, though. We want to kind of have it impromptu, give us, just think of ideas, things like that, because some of those videos are fun. But what we're talking about is the road to WrestleMania. As you know, we are on the road to WrestleMania officially after the Royal Rumble. There's probably going to be multiple parts to this video. So this is going to be part one, just kind of getting off, the first steps to WrestleMania coming out of the Royal Rumble. Um, Kind of how how is WWE doing right now? Are they starting off on a good point? Because what they really need to do is they need to start off good, keep us interested the whole time, and then lead up to a good WrestleMania. Because if they do even one of those not well, it could, turn out horrible for them. Because wrestling fans, we're not always that forgiving when you fail or when you don't do something just right. So we're just gonna kind of talk about what we think, how we think they're doing, what they need to do, talent wise, show wise, and it is a little bit hard right now because we didn't have Raw on Monday. Unfortunately, the blizzard in the Northeast caused them to cancel that. So we didn't really get that Raw after the Royal Rumble, that after pay-per-view Raw where, all the fallout happens. So that kind of hurts us a little bit. We did get SmackDown tonight, but I didn't get to watch it yet. I'm going to watch that a little bit later. But sometimes SmackDown even doesn't kind of give you too much. But first off, how do you think WWE did with, first of all, with Royal Rumble and the first kind of steps towards the road to WrestleMania?
Um, as far as the Royal Rumble goes, I think they put on a decent show, Royal Rumble wise. I think as far as the match goes, I don't think it helps them having the guy they want to push being booed. For the second week in a row or second year in a row, the guy they've wanted to push has been booed out of the building for winning the Rumble. So I don't think that's where they really want to go with that. Like it would be understandable if maybe Seth Rollins had won the Royal Rumble or something. The big heel won the Rumble. That would make a little bit more sense. But I don't know. I don't think they started off on a very good foot just because you got to think about it. They kind of got the main guy that they want to put. They want to give the keys to him and tell him drive on, drive on. But if he's getting booed, everyone's gonna try to hit him. Using my car scenario here. But I feel like they didn't really start off on the best of foots here, the best of feet, I guess you could say. They didn't really start off too well because Roman Reigns got booed, which was kind of weird. I think they were going in a good direction with Reigns because if you think about it, Reigns was getting a ton of cheers. It seemed like before, and then it seemed like randomly on Sunday, boo, like he was just getting booed out of the building. And I'm like, and a little bit was on Philadelphia, but still, like, it still just feels like just with Twitter and everything that everybody's against Roman Reigns, and I'm like, weren't you the same people who were with Roman Reigns like 2 weeks ago? You know what I mean? Like he was getting huge pops, especially when he first came back. Um, so it doesn't really make any sense to me as far as it's kind of hard for me to fault WWE a little bit on this, but then again, it is a little bit of their fault too because they could have gave it to somebody who's not necessarily established, but one of those guys maybe Bray or something like that, or Dean, like one of those guys who's been pretty much in the spotlight the entire time, to where Roman Reigns hasn't been in the spotlight as much as these other guys have because of his injury. And, it's unfortunate, but that's sometimes how it goes. Did I
Yeah.
answer the question though?
I think the pay per view in general kind of wasn't it wasn't anything. I don't think spectacular. I wouldn't say. I wouldn't say it was the one of the best Royal Rumbles ever. But I think that's also because of a lot of the matches before the Rumble, like the Divas match. There was no point in having a total Divas match. We didn't need that. First of all, they need to really either ditch the Divas shit or kind of make it more serious. Differentiate between Divas wrestling and Total Divas. They need to be two totally different things. Um, Also, uh, with the Ascension match, some people hate the Ascension, some people like the Ascension. Um, I personally think they still need a little bit more, just kind of in ring work because they do kind of get boring with just the same moves over and over again. And I didn't. I like the match that they had with the New Age Outlaws, but at the same time, we could have gone without that. We could have, um, I mean, they could have done other things, but they wanted to finally get them on the main roster, and I guess that's kind of helping establish them a little bit. We'll see where they go with that. I hope they don't keep giving them, matches with old tag teams because that's going to get boring real quick.
Well,
Um,
I think one thing it did help though, it gave them a match against a tag team that just wasn't. Let me just pick these two guys out of a hat. We hadn't even heard of it. Like you have your jobber tag teams, and then you have like just straight jobbers. Like they weren't even people we ever heard of before. And I think that was the issue. Is like, I understand making them look strong by going up against these weaker guys, but you got to at least put them up against somebody that can
yeah,
actually do some stuff too. You know.
yeah. Do you? Well, and I think if they didn't do the New Age Outlaws thing, they could have even done um, a triple threat tag team match. Put them in with the Usos and Tyson Kidd and Cesaro. That would have worked because the Usos are an established tag team. Um, Kidd and Cesaro aren't an established tag team quite yet, but they're established superstars. We know what they can do. We know where they come from. So it wouldn't. I think that would have been a little bit better for a match wise. Um, because if they won that, we would have definitely been like, okay, they're something to kind of look out for. But I could have taken or left the Ascension versus the New Age Outlaws. And then we get to what a lot of people are saying the match of the night was the triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Um, and even some John Cena haters, myself included, um, you know, even Bruce Blitz. I was watching his review. He even gave props to um, John Cena for that Michinoku driver that he did. That actually looked really good. If you go back and watch it, that looked really good. And he did okay in the match. It wasn't, the typical painful um, John Cena match. I mean, the the drop kick on the outside was kind of pathetic, but you can't expect too much. But I think that was definitely a good match, kind of getting you hyped for the Rumble. And then I think the Rumble match in general was kind of eh. It wasn't anything too great. There was a couple, exciting returns that we got. Bubba Ray being one of them. The Boogeyman being another.
I
But
think the I think the excitement was too far. Like I said in the review, the excitement was like too far at the beginning. Like I
yeah,
think it would have helped Roman Reigns out even a little bit more if they would have kept the excitement kind of spread throughout. And I can't it even though it didn't help Roman Reigns, if they were gonna let Roman Reigns win it, I do think it was smart for them to eliminate Daniel Bryan earlier because if you leave Roman Reigns in there with Daniel Bryan, he's in trouble just because of how much people love Daniel Bryan. So if you want him to get the kind of the face reaction, I think.
Yeah, and I feel like he could have just. It would have been just as good if he, if they waited and had Bubba Ray come in later and have Roman eliminate Bubba Ray rather than eliminating Big Show and Kane, because I mean it's impressive size wise, eliminating two giants, but we're not impressed really with Kane or Big Show anymore. I don't think any of us are like, oh my God, it's the Big Show or it's Kane anymore. Well, that was gone, I think, in like 2011. So they're either a joke or in the authority. Either way, they're not. It didn't really help him, I don't think. Um, and as you were saying, I mean, I think, yeah, if they gave the win to somebody that was there established more, I think it would have been better, and also it would have been a little bit more fair. Um, because I mean, think about it. Like if you were, at let's put this analogy. If you were trying to work for Employee of the Month, and one of the guys that was in the lead got hurt at work and had to leave, and then came back and was put right back in that front spot, that wouldn't be fair. And I don't think that's fair to guys like Seth Rollins, Bray Wyatt, Dean Ambrose, because they were there. They were, they had amazing matches, especially Dean Ambrose and Bray Wyatt. They had some awesome matches together while Roman Reigns was gone. If one of those guys won, it would have been great. But again, you have to think, Vince. Vince doesn't want the average guy to win. He wants, the Brock Lesnar, the Roman Reigns, the big jacked guy to win.
I
Which is
think this could have been a year of like if they didn't let Reigns win it, could have been another year to kind of build up Reigns because I I don't feel like Reigns is lacking like everybody else does. I actually love his promos. I don't know why. Maybe it's because he says "believe that" at the end of them, probably. But I don't hate Reigns' promos at all, and I don't think he's not polished in the ring. I think a lot of times what happens with these guys who we feel like only have 5 moves is that's when the crowd pops. So that's what WWE takes notice of. They're like, okay, the crowd pops when he does his clothesline. I can't remember exactly what moves he does, but you know what I mean. He does his like basically his comeback moment. That's when the crowd pops, and I think a lot of times WWE says, you know what, that's when the crowd pops. So let's just make that his moveset. Let's just let him get dominated, and then there he goes. Because even when Cena does it, as much as people hate Cena, that's still the most. That's when the crowd pops the most is when he's doing that type of comeback moment type of thing. So I feel like maybe if the crowd didn't pop as much for it, maybe they would stop doing it so much. But it's not. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do with that. It's interesting.
Yeah. And as far as the move set, I think if they just added some more moves to the move set and didn't do the big moves as often, kind of make them a little bit more of a surprise, more of a kind of excited moment, then people maybe might change a little bit. And as for his promos, I don't hate them. I do kind of get a little bit like I can sense a little bit of the Rock in him. He has that kind of charisma. I just think it needs to be a bit molded more, kind of worked with more.
Yeah, and also you got to think Reigns doesn't really have a character right now either. He's
Yeah,
kind of like the big guy from the Shield. So as far as his promos go, that's really the only thing he can do is kind of be that big guy from the Shield. I feel like he can just sit there and act tough. That's about all he really has right now because really that's all we really can link him to. We can't link him to his one specific trait. All we can really link him to is he's the big guy from the Shield. He's the guy that was supposed to break out. So
yeah,
I mean, I think they would have to develop his character a little more for us to really
yeah.
see any true potential.
And we have a while till WrestleMania. So I think they could slowly kind of build a little bit of a character with him. Maybe slowly change his attire to not completely change it, but change it so we know there's a difference between this Roman Reigns and the Roman Reigns from the Shield. Just kind of give him his own, because they did it with Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. It's kind of like they just gave up and said, you know what, let's keep the same thing, and it's not going to work. Um, a lot of fans will say, oh, wrestling attire doesn't really matter, blah blah blah, but it really does. It brings your character together. Uh, you know, um, Even with John Cena, that's what we know him with, the jeans, the colorful T-shirts. It brings your character together. And if they kind of just change it up a little bit, I don't think they could change it too much because it would just be a completely different person. But just do something with it. So what else do you think? Let's kind of step outside of the main event. What do you think else they need to do heading into WrestleMania, with other divisions, Divas? We have Intercontinental. We have the tag team division. What do you think
Um,
they need to do?
Something new they could do, and I would love to see them do. And I heard somebody else say this. I can't really think of who it was off the top of my head, but like I just thought it was a really cool idea. Is have like the NXT champion, who's probably going to be Sami Zayn at this point, have him defend. So then that gives him that exposure.
Yeah,
And that gives NXT some exposure too, more so than just on the network, which it's going to be technically on the network, but you know what I mean, like just outside of their specific show. Because a lot of times I don't think they push NXT guys, because when an NXT guy comes to the main roster, if he defended his title at WrestleMania, you're going to be like, oh yeah, I remember him. He was the NXT champion. He defended his title at WrestleMania, rather than saying, well, who's this guy? And then him end up becoming Big E, becoming I can't think of another one off the top of my head. Adam Rose, you know what I
Bo
mean,
Dallas.
becoming those guys who kind of are reaching a little bit.
Bo Dallas.
No, he's fine. Okay, he's fine.
Bo
um,
Dallas.
I mean, what do you think of that? Like maybe defending the NXT title at
I,
WrestleMania, if there's room on the card, obviously.
I think
Maybe even if they did it on the pre-show,
yeah.
which even if they did it on the pre-show, it would be fine.
If they had enough room, I think they should all do both the NXT champion. If there was room, ideally I'd love to see all three titles, NXT titles, put on the show, pre-show or the actual card. That would be great because, and we talked about this in a previous video. I think it was on a video, or it might have been, off a video after we did a video. But we talked about how, NXT, to a lot of people who haven't watched it, they may see it as, like a Superstars, or one of those shows that you don't really want to watch. It's just for kids. But if you gave them a chance to really see what it's about, maybe they would start tuning into it, and say, hey, this is something kind of completely different from Raw and SmackDown, because it is. It's more of a wrestling product. We get more matches, even though it's a shorter show, we get more matches in it. We get matches we like. We get the high flying, a lot of suicide dives, more of an indie feel. I
That's
still
got to be
think.
the reason too, because it's shorter. They don't have time to push promo after promo in, where
Yeah.
Superstars and these other shows, they're kind of based off of the storylines, with where NXT is kind of either building their own storylines. They're their own individual brand, so I think they want to kind of distance themselves in that area as well.
Yeah. So that would be something that they could do, and should do, I should say. And I also think they need to, give the other titles, a place on the card. I don't think there necessarily should be any non-title matches. It is WrestleMania, so why not? Why not put an Intercontinental Championship match? Just with how big the Intercontinental Championship used to be. It used to really mean something, and now it's just, they don't care anymore. And I would love to see it get back to its prestige that it used to have. Um, so if they put an Intercontinental title match on there, a tag team match, that would be cool. Even the Divas title, put it on there, just to kind of give these titles a chance to actually be shown on a pay-per-view, because a lot of the
Are you are you talking more like the normal Divas title or the NXT Divas title?
well, both.
As far so, are you saying that like on the WrestleMania card?
Yeah,
Okay.
like we could put like the NXT on like the pre-show, um, but definitely at least put um, the Divas in there somewhere, because they, as much as we kind of talk crap about WWE Divas division, you have to think, at least like Natalia, um, AJ's not there anymore, but like Paige, they grew up with, wrestling was their dream. So why not give them the chance to, be on WrestleMania? That's what they grew up with. The Bellas, I don't really know that much. I don't know if they really grew up as wrestling fans.
But at
And
least I feel like the Bellas are. I feel like the Divas are passionate about what they do, even though they don't really get I think the spotlight that they kind of deserve.
yeah, yeah. So give them the chance, um, because it's like it's not fair to have them, work their ass off and not give them the chance to be on the big show, especially the good ones like, Natalia, Page, even the Bellas. They work so hard. Give them the chance. And then the mid card, like I said, the Intercontinental Championship, the Tag Team Championship. Build up the tag team division a little bit. Build up the Intercontinental division. Give some guys that don't get as much recognition a chance. I mean, you could,
Put the Usos on the main card this year, please. They deserve
yeah,
it. If they're going to be the champions, because I feel like they are going to be the champions going in.
yeah,
I think they settled for the pre-show last year, and I don't think they deserved it, but they settled for the pre-show last year, so I think they kind of deserve to. And I think that may be why they gave them the title, because they felt like they kind of slighted them a little bit last year.
yeah,
Um, but I feel like maybe, I mean, I would like to see maybe Kid and Cesaro versus the Usos at
yeah.
WrestleMania. That would be cool.
Yeah. And then, like I said, if you put an Intercontinental title match, those guys, given the chance to go on WrestleMania, they're going to go all out. And you might find, a big superstar, somebody that, like a Dolph Ziggler, who still personally think he's recently been one of the best Intercontinental champions we've had. He's exciting. He knows how to keep the crowd into the match. He knows how to.
I think Luke Harper's been pretty good too. He
Yeah,
doesn't really, he doesn't have like his character is a little bit different than a lot, complete opposite of like Dolph Ziggler. But I feel like just in ring quality of work, I think he's been really good too. I feel like I don't know who else they could really push to that pedestal right now because they really don't have. I don't know if they have a lot of. They have the mid card guys, but I don't know if they have anybody that's really ready yet. It feels like Harper, maybe Rowan, if they give him a chance. But I feel like I don't know what they're doing with him right now either. If it feels like they're doing something weird with him, like I don't feel the same. Like I look at Luke Harper and I'm like, and I look at Rowan and I'm like, and I don't want to look at him that way because I feel like Rowan's just as good. I
yeah,
just feel like Rowan hasn't gotten the chance and really doesn't get the credit either.
yeah. And before we kind of end the video, let's talk a little bit about the next pay-per-view, Fastlane. What do you think of that so far? I mean, we don't know too much about it because it is a new pay-per-view. It's kind of replacing Elimination Chamber. I don't know. I don't know if it's replacing it permanently or what's really going on with it. But what do you think of it? What do you think they should do on that show? Just kind of.
First off, they're giving it to new subscribers free. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cancel my subscription and I'm gonna only subscribe for March. So then I don't have to pay for it. No, I hope they don't charge me next month though. That would be nice if they didn't charge me since they want to give it for free anyway. I don't know why they don't do that. It's just weird to me. I don't know. But as far as the Fastlane thing is, the pay per view concept, I'm fine with a new pay per view, and I'm fine with the pay per view not being Elimination Chamber. Um, but I feel like the Road to WrestleMania pay per views should have never changed because I feel like the Road to WrestleMania is so important. Not just WrestleMania, but the entire road to WrestleMania seems so important that why would you change the names of the pay per views? You're never going to change Royal Rumble. You're never going to change WrestleMania. So I feel like they should have kept that at like No Way Out or something, just because after a while it just gets prestigious, and Royal Rumble, No Way Out, WrestleMania, three important pay per views, you know,
Yeah.
for the first part of the year, and like that's one of the issues I have is the name changes and stuff. I feel like for the road to WrestleMania, change the other ones all you want to, besides maybe like Survivor Series or something. Change, or some Survivor Series, SummerSlam. Change those other ones however you want to, but I feel like the road to WrestleMania stuff shouldn't be changed because you need to make sure that we understand this is an important time, and plus it builds the prestige on the specific pay per view. Um, I don't know what they're really doing with Fastlane. Um, I know we got John Cena versus Rusev, which I'm excited for because I am a huge Rusev fan. Um, just because of the way he sells and stuff. Love Rusev. And plus he reminds me of Umaga, who I also loved. Um, I don't know. I'm excited about it just because it's another pay per view. Pay per views get me excited for some reason. I don't really know why. I mean, I know the major ones definitely get me excited, but it's always fun when you got a pay per view coming up. I don't really know what they're gonna do with the card. Um, we don't have much established. I don't think. As far as because I feel like they're changing some of the feuds around to get ready for WrestleMania and then building through that. Um, Interested to see if they're gonna do a Elimination Chamber though, an Elimination Chamber. Because since they changed the name, will they actually do the match? And plus, the Elimination Chamber is a dangerous structure, and with the WWE being what it is now, that type of PG type of thing, are they gonna eliminate? Excuse the pun, excuse the the phrase there. Are they gonna eliminate these more dangerous matches like steel cage, Hell in a Cell? Those are kind of blueprint matches, but like Elimination Chamber, will they eliminate that match? I hope not, but you never know with the way WWE's kind of turning here. Um, but I'm excited about it just because it is another pay per view and we don't really know much yet. So I guess we'll have to kind of see what they're gonna build on first. I take it they're building on Daniel Bryan and Kane. Unfortunately, I didn't want to see that the first time it was gonna happen, and I definitely don't want to see it now. But I will go back and watch that casket match though. I haven't watched it yet because I haven't had a chance to watch SmackDown. But I'm gonna go watch that casket match though. I'm not really excited about it because I'm just not very interested in Kane anymore. Um, and I feel like Daniel Bryan is so above Kane, it's not even funny. So I'm excited for Fastlane. I just want to know what they're gonna do with Fastlane. What's the concept of Fastlane? Doesn't tell you much, Like No
Yeah.
Way Out told you, okay, you know, either there's no way out of the feud, there's no way out of this specific match. But Fastlane doesn't tell you really, really much. It doesn't clue you in to anything. I like the names that kind of clue you in a little bit.
And I feel like older pay-per-views kind of kept storylines going throughout the year. We had No Way Out, Unforgiven, Backlash, things like that. Where it gave you an idea of what the show is going to be like, but it also kind of kept the storylines going and they were set together to kind of work together. Um, I just think Fastlane is just it has nothing to do with wrestling at all. It sounds like more of a car show. Like I don't understand. Um, but they definitely need to keep feuds going. Not necessarily bring back old feuds that we don't want, like Kane and Daniel Bryan. Even
Yeah,
originally, I felt like Daniel Bryan was so above Kane,
yeah.
even back when they first had their feud.
So one more thing I'm interested in is what they're going to do with the tag team division, because I feel like the Miz and Mizdow thing is going to fall off here in a little bit, and they're going to obviously start their feud. Probably going into WrestleMania, I could see it maybe. But I'm kind of interested to see what they're going to do with a tag team to put in that spot. I see Kid and Cesaro because it looks like they're really, you know, kind of giving them the brass ring and letting them run with it here. Um, Feels like they're kind of doing something with them. So it's gonna. I don't know. Those are that's like the only team I can think of off the top of my head that's like ready. New Day is kind of not ready yet. I don't think.
Yeah,
I feel like Kid and Cesaro have kind of proven themselves as a tag team already, just with the little bit of exposure they've had.
yeah. And I don't know if this is true, but I heard they're gonna call Kid Cesaro and Adam Team Cat, Team Cesaro, Adam and Tyson, because Tyson and his. I hope not. I really hope not. I hope they just go with the Brass Ring Club because that is going to be so ridiculous.
Yeah,
I'm
the Brass Ring Cubs is a cooler name too. Like
yeah,
Cat, it's original. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
I feel like
I mean, if WWE will officially adopt it, because if you guys don't know, I found out that I guess the shirts that they had weren't WWE shirts. It was a shirt that Cesaro had a company make,
yeah.
which
And
surprising.
if you noticed, Adam Rose didn't come out with it during the Royal Rumble either. I noticed that he had changed shirts during that portion there.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see what goes on with that, but they definitely need to ramp up the tag team division. Um, I personally still think they need to get rid of the stupid big penny looking belts. I still
Oh
can't
yeah,
the new
I don't I
title.
don't yeah, I don't like it. I think the concept was interesting. It's a different belt. It's a different style.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know it. For some reason, when I hear the big butterfly belt, I always think of the tag team belts for some reason, and I don't really know why. I think when you put them together, it kind of looks like a butterfly. If you look at it from a certain angle, but
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't like it.
It just looks like they took a huge penny and put it on a leather belt. To me, that's what it looks like. That's from day one when they first debuted those belts. I hated them. So they need to change those because that'll bring people more interested in the tag team or tag team division too. Because the titles do get us excited about things. I mean, even people have their favorite titles from the history. Some people like the Big Eagle. Some people like the traditional Intercontinental title. But don't want to go too much into some people. Nobody likes the spinner belt. Nobody likes it's no.
I
But
like the spinner belt.
yeah, okay. But yeah, we'll kind of wrap up this video for now. This was part one. I'm sure we'll have a couple other parts to this because the Road WrestleMania still going on. Hopefully it gets more exciting. Hopefully we kind of get really pumped for Mania. I heard that they're trying to get Taker to come back for another match, but I
Why?
don't know how I feel about that.
I don't feel good about it at all because it doesn't make any sense. He has nothing to fight. Technically, he has nothing to fight for unless he challenges Brock for the title. That's the only thing. Redemption. That's the only real thing he has to fight for.
Yeah,
Um, like that would seem to be like the only person he would want to face after the streak would be the guy who beat it. To kind of get his title or something. One more run for Taker, maybe. Probably not, but it's a good thought.
um, It would be nice to see him officially, before he officially retires. Because I mean, last time we knew he was going to last time we saw he was going to the hospital after the match for a concussion. We haven't seen anything from him since then. So, you know, but yeah, that's our video for tonight. Got a video coming tomorrow. The NXT or no TNA video. And then we have another video coming up tomorrow too. So got double videos tomorrow for you. Get excited.
Unless I can't watch TNA tomorrow, then
Well, and then that'll just go to Saturday, but whatever. We'll have a video tomorrow no matter what. We're gonna have a video.
it's your statement.
Maybe if
Um,
everything can
yeah,
come.
maybe because I've been talking to people about the Pix video, and they're like, I can't do it tomorrow. So, so it may not be tomorrow. Um, there will be a video soon in the next couple of days. So,
Yeah.
we're not just gonna leave you out there on a limb or nothing.
But anyway, like we usually close with, follow me on Twitter. Right there, right there, right there, and give us your thoughts on Road to WrestleMania. What do you want to see? What do you want to see Taker come back?
Yeah. Feel free to follow me on Twitter. It's down there if you'd like. Um, I encourage you to comment. I do. I want to thank all the new subscribers. We've gotten a ton of new subscribers since the Royal Rumble video. I think a lot of people like the live reactions thing too. So um, that was an interesting thing we did last night. If you haven't watched it yet, we did a live reaction review for NXT, the recent episode of NXT. So check that out. It's on the channel. It's probably one of the top videos because it just got uploaded. Comment and tell us what you think about the road to WrestleMania. What do you think this fast lane concept is going to be? If you have some details we don't know about, let us know. Let us know. If you want, like Casey said, if you want Taker to come back, or if you want to see Sting versus Triple H, that's kind of what I want to see at WrestleMania, but it's a little while from now.
Well, if you want to see Bubba Ray come back, Bubba.
Yeah, if you want to see Bubba Ray beat Brock Lesnar, at the pay per view for the title, just saying,
Yeah, I would
that would be cool. But part two will be coming up sometime in the near future. If all else, it'll probably be somewhere near Fastlane, if nothing else, or somewhere near when we get some more details towards it. Hope you didn't cancel your network subscription because it's a little much, little extreme. But if you did, you get February free, so just sign up for March. Telling the people what they gotta hear. But feel free, like I said, follow me on Twitter. Comment if you need to comment. Give us a like if you like the video. If you don't like the video, just leave. Just leave. Just get out. Just get out. Because that's just immoral. It's just immoral, man.
Immortal?
But
Mortal? Is that what you were saying? Immortal?
not immortal.
Oh,
Immoral.
oh, I thought.
Immoral. Immoral.
Oh,
Something. It's a word that I'm saying that people understand. But we'll see you guys later. Talk to you later. Bye. Peace.
peace.